It's Wednesday, the 18th of November 2020. Welcome to the Fear and Greed Business Headlines, the business news you need in just 5 minutes. I'm Sean Aylmer. Today's headlines. Stamp duty could be abolished under plans outlined by New South Wales, providing a blueprint for the rest of the country to get rid of the inefficient tax. That's our main story. Plus, President-elect Joe Biden warns of a dark winter for the US. Australia signs a new defence treaty with Japan, and Virgin leaves the ASX as Jetstar offers $65 return airfares. New South Wales Treasurer Dominic Perrottet has proposed shifting away from stamp duty on property purchases and instituting land taxes, providing a blueprint for the rest of the country. Under the proposal announced in yesterday's state budget, a buyer will have a choice of either making a one-off stamp duty payment or incurring a modest annual land tax bill for the tenure of owning the land. The rate of property tax would differ for owner-occupiers, investors and commercial tenants. This is a breakthrough moment in trying to abolish one of the most inefficient taxes in the system. Its cost ranges from 37 cents to $1.07 for every dollar raised. That means that in some cases, it actually costs more to calculate and collect than it's worth. In Sydney, the stamp duty on a mid-sized home can be more than $100,000, but stamp duty generates billions of dollars across the country, and the states have been reliant on it. The New South Wales solution will mean a loss of revenue initially, but with interest rates low, the state government argues it's affordable. It will also generate significant economic activity because home buyers who opt for the land tax option have tens of thousands of dollars more in their pockets to spend. It's quite a sensible solution. It's great to see the states becoming more creative in how they think about their finances. In overseas news, President-elect Joe Biden has warned that more people may die if President Donald Trump continues to block the transition to power. He said America was going into a very dark winter and things would get tougher. Case numbers in the US are surging at their fastest rate since March. The only good news was Moderna's announcement that its phase 3 trials of an experimental vaccine had proven 94.5% effective. It's been a while coming, but Tesla is set to join the S&P 500 on 21 December. It sent the electric car maker's share price up almost 8%. Tesla's been a curious omission from the index until now. It's certainly big enough. In fact, it's so big that it will join the S&P 500 over a period of time to avoid index investors rushing out to buy the stock. And just in case you were wondering, the news added around $15 billion to Elon Musk's fortune. He's now worth around $118 billion. And Airbnb has filed for an initial public offering, with documentation showing growing losses and falling revenue as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. Locally, Prime Minister Scott Morrison touched down in Japan yesterday and said Australia shared Japan's ambition of achieving net zero emissions. But he said he was focused on how to get there before committing Australia to such targets. Japan has committed to the target, which could impact our exports of coal and LNG in the future. Mr. Morrison and his Japanese counterpart, Yoshihide Suga, signed a two-way defence treaty after 6 years of negotiations. It'll cover joint military training exercises and natural disaster and humanitarian relief. And the Australian is reporting this morning that Federal Treasurer Josh Frydenberg will today say Australia is ready to re-engage in respectful and beneficial dialogue with Beijing, though our national interest is non-negotiable. South Australia recorded 5 new cases of coronavirus yesterday, 4 from the known outbreak, and 1 is still under investigation. That cluster has now grown to 20. The Reserve Bank released the minutes of its board meetings 2 weeks ago. The board thought it was an appropriate time to launch a quantitative easing program for the first time, because it forecast high unemployment and low inflation for an extended period. The minutes came as the ANZ Roy Morgan Consumer Confidence Index was released, showing an 11th straight week of rising sentiment. The ASX recommenced operations yesterday after the shutdown on Monday, but trading was again impeded by delays. And Jetstar has partnered with Tourism Australia to launch a major airfare sale in an effort to boost domestic tourism. 400,000 trips will become available across 51 of Jetstar's domestic routes, with one-way fares as low as $65 and the return flight free. The sale came on the same day that rival Virgin Australia was removed from the ASX. It went into voluntary administration in April after 20 years on the bourse, and it's now owned by private equity group Bain Capital. That's the Fear and Greed business headlines for today. There's more on all of these stories in today's full Fear and Greed podcast, as well as an interview with Catherine Anderson from PowerShop Australia about consumers shifting towards renewable energy. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your day.